Today I've got the Jabra Evolve 65 headset. Was working since 2019. Last week it stopped working, or rather the headphones were still working, but the microphone just didn't work, was giving an error in Windows. Don't know if I can fix it, but let's see if I can get it apart at least and see what's inside. It looks like this plastic rim is going to be removed, so I'll get a screwdriver in there, or plastic spudger thing, and see what's inside. I think I was wrong in trying to get this back off. I've taken the pad front off, and I think I'm going to try and get in via the pivot. This section moves slightly onto pivots, and I'm going to try and prise those open there. Yep, that seems to have done the trick. So you can see there's a hole there and a plastic thing which I seem to have broken. But that does in fact come out. So on a short lead, the headphone there, and the battery, and the microphone connection would be there. So I will need to investigate whether that wire is damaged or anything like that. See what we can do. So I've taken the headphone out, unsoldering it, and now we have better access to the circuit board. I could replace the battery if needed. The circuit board itself is held on by these plastic melted spots, so I'll need to kind of scrape off the top. That microphone cable is held on there by some glue, so I'll need to take that off, and then maybe I can see if I'm hoping there might be a break in the cable due to movement or something like that underneath that's obvious, that maybe I can repair. If not, then I might just see if I can remove the boom and just use them as a non-microphone Bluetooth headset as a spare backup or something. Okay, so next job is these plastic rivety things. So I've been really struggling trying to prise open this part here. I got it open a little way, but it seemed there was something in the middle holding it in. So I've given up on that idea. I originally thought that this band and this ring were one piece of plastic stopping the PCB coming out. However, I think it might actually be a separate ring, so that's my next approach. I'm going to try and prise apart in the middle there hopefully without damaging it. We'll see. Right, so I've made a little bit of progress. So by putting some pressure here with a large screwdriver and twisting, I've been able to prise open that ring slightly, just enough to get another smaller screwdriver in there. So I'm now going to go around that ring and hopefully that will pop out. Yeah, okay, bit of a struggle. Yep, that did the trick. Once I'd started, the ring popped out quite easily. So yeah, it's the two adjacent ends of the diameter there that are the key. So now we've got the PCB out. Very small circuits on there, of course. Not sure if that's a lot of help, to be honest. That obviously goes to the other PCB underneath, and look there, the screws if that will focus. There's a couple of screws there which were holding the back on. That's why I couldn't open it from that side. So, well, that's the microphone cable. There. So I could try taking that out, seeing if that is broken somewhere. I suppose that's the only thing I can do. So I was trying to see whether this microphone, which comes in here on the board, was actually producing anything. So there's DC on there, as measured by the oscilloscope here. That's just displaying the mains noise at the moment, but I was able to probe that point, and there did seem to be some audio on there if I shouted at the microphone. So I was slightly perplexed what the problem could be then. If audio was coming in here, maybe there was some processing chip that was faulty. But I just decided to connect the Bluetooth to my phone, which I've never done before. Actually, I've always used these with the computer and Teams specifically for work. And surprise, surprise, the audio recorder just picked up the Bluetooth mic and would display the waveform fine. So whatever the problem was with the computer, actually doesn't seem to have been any problem with the headphones at all, as far as I can tell. So I'm just going to put this all back and try it, and maybe that's actually going to be fine. I managed to glue that piece of plastic on there that I broke off. Managed to drop it on the black carpet, but found it. So it's glued back on, and you can see, comparing to the headphone insert, that's a hole there on the right, whereas on the left there's a kind of slidey bit that guides up to the hole. And so ideally, I suppose I should have tried to remove it from this side, perhaps. I'm not sure whether that would have been better to avoid breaking the lug. I'm not sure, but anyway, it's now reassembly time, and just wire up the cables again and fit it together. Alright, so I've put it back together again, and the audio works and the microphone works, connected to my mobile phone. So yeah, I haven't really done anything to fix anything. It probably always was connecting to the phone okay, and maybe there was some software issue on the computer. So maybe that's a lesson. Try it on more than one device before you blame the headset, although IT did say it was a headset problem. So anyway, whatever. This seems to work now. Just a note about sort of gluing it back and putting this insert in. It is quite hard. You have to hook one end in, and then the other end is supposed to push in, but with the broken notch lug thing that sticks out, I was having to try to push that in with a screwdriver and use quite a lot of force, so it was quite tricky to do that without actually breaking something else, of course. But yeah, I've managed to do that, so it does actually move slightly like that, and put the pad back on without much issue. Now that ring around here, I just put a dab of adhesive on there, and one I like is this T8000 stuff, bought off eBay from China. I forget who recommended it, but it's got a fine nozzle, so you can apply just a tiny amount to various sort of electronicsy kind of things, and it's kind of quite sticky, gooey, viscous maybe I should say, and then dries, but in its dry state is also quite rubbery, and so if needed you can kind of peel it off, and yet it does hold quite well, so it's kind of good for things that need a little bit of movement perhaps, and maybe at some point can be removed non-destructively. So yeah, I've used that on sort of screens and various sort of electronic repairs, so that's come in handy. I think they do different ones in the range for different purposes, but I haven't really looked into those. So that's it really. I hope that it might have been some help if you indeed need to change a battery or change something in terms of getting this apart. Okay, thanks.